What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I want to give you guys some Atlanta Falcons news, and I also want to talk about if the Atlanta Falcons still have a chance at making the playoffs this season. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content. Hit that like button for your boy. I appreciate each and every one of you guys continuing to tune into the channel. If you would like to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. If you would like to donate to my channel, you can donate to my Cash App, which is the $ Jew Talk Sports. But with that being said, your boy is on the road to 2,000 subscribers. So I really appreciate each and every one of you guys continuing to share out my content. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So first off, in Atlanta Falcons news, yesterday news broke that wide receiver slash running back Cordero Patterson did sprain his ankle in the game against Dallas this past Sunday. And it looks like he's going to be out for a couple weeks due to him having this injury. I believe that Cordero Patterson probably will be out at least 2 to 3 games. We've seen a guy like Russell Gage earlier this season have an ankle sprain. Usually when NFL players sprain their ankles or hurt their ankles, depending on your pain tolerance, most of the times it's like a skilled position player like a running back or a wide receiver. Usually an ankle injury holds a player out at least on average about 3 weeks or 3 games. So I expect Cordero Patterson to possibly miss 2 or 3 games due to this ankle injury. I don't expect him to play this Thursday against the New England Patriots. And this is a huge loss for our Atlanta Falcons because Cordero Patterson has been the most productive wide receiver slash running back on our team this season. It's going to be very hard to replace a guy like Cordero Patterson's production because he does so much for our team. Not only is he a running back, not only is he a wide receiver, but he also plays special teams as well. He's a special teams ace. He's one of those guys that can run down on kickoff coverage. He's also a guy that returns punts and returns kicks for our Atlanta Falcons as well. So he's really the epitome of a Swiss Army knife. Pretty much Cordero Patterson can do everything, and he has been a fan favorite this year. He's definitely outperformed his contract when he signed with the Atlanta Falcons on a 1-year deal. And I do expect the Falcons to possibly bring him back after this season because he fits Arthur Smith's scheme perfectly. But guys are just going to have to step up. As we always talk about next man up, our Falcons have really been hit hard this year with injuries and with guys not being able to play. Calvin Ridley out with the mental health issue. Cordero Patterson now going down. Isaiah Oliver went down early in the season. So we've had some key guys go down. And it's going to be a huge blow, like I said, for our Atlanta Falcons. But we know that we have other guys on this team that can step up, that we have depth on this team. Maybe we'll see more Frank Darby at the wide receiver position. Maybe we'll see a guy like Marvin Hall, who we signed a few weeks ago, a former Atlanta Falcons wide receiver, a speedster, a guy who can get behind the defense deep. He's a deep threat type wide receiver. Maybe we'll see him, get some playing time. But with that being said, like I said, we're going to need guys to step up in the absence of Cordero Patterson, Russell Gage, Olamide Zaccheaus, Kyle Pitts. We're going to need the whole unit. Hayden Hurst, Lee Smith, all of these guys are going to have to really step up for our Atlanta Falcons over the next couple weeks if we want to stay, in the thick of things as far as the playoffs. Now, the second part of my video, I do want to talk about the playoffs and do the Atlanta Falcons still have a chance at making the playoffs for this 2021-2022 season? And my answer is yes. I am one of the content creators or one of the fans that said in the offseason that this Atlanta Falcons team would make the playoffs. Once I seen our full roster and once I seen our schedule this year, I did believe that this Atlanta Falcons team would make the playoffs. With there being 7 spots now in the playoffs in the NFC and in the AFC, I really think the Falcons still have a great chance at making the playoffs. I know after this 40-point loss to the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday, A lot of the fans now believe that the Falcons are going to, lose a lot of the games remaining. But I'm still one of those fans and one of those content creators that believe that the Atlanta Falcons have what it takes to make a playoff push. They talked to Foye Maluakan, our star linebacker, after the game, and he talked about we're still in the hunt. Yeah, we did lose to the Cowboys, but it's just one game. We're going to have to rebound. This game coming up Thursday against the Patriots is a must-win game to get to 5-5, get back to 500. But right now, we're right in the thick of things in the wild card playoff position. Teams like the Vikings, teams like the Carolina Panthers, teams like the New Orleans Saints are all right there in the mix for that 7th playoff spot in those 6 and 7 spot in the wild card round. And I think that this Falcons team is good enough. They're well coached, and we have enough talent for this team to make the playoffs. Yes, on Sunday we did get blown out, like I said, by the Dallas Cowboys. And the Dallas Cowboys are a very talented team. But I mentioned in our post-game show on Sunday evening that the teams that we're playing week in and week out are not as talented as the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are definitely possibly the most talented offense in the league. If you look at the guys that they have, the Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard, they arguably have the best offense in the league other than Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the LA Rams. They're right up there with those upper echelon teams as far as skilled position players. And they also have a great offensive line as well there in Dallas. So Dallas is one of the cream of the crop of the NFC right now. But that offense is just a very high-powered and potent offense, and you're not going to see that week in and week out. So I definitely think that this Falcons team has a chance to still make the playoffs. I definitely think that this team has played very well. After a loss this year, we've pretty much bounced back after every game. I believe we've only had a 2-game losing streak so far this season, and that was the first game of the season when we lost to the Eagles and we lost to the Buccaneers. But every other week that we had a loss, we've bounced back that next week and won the game. So I definitely think this Thursday night that we're going to see an energized Falcons team this Thursday night. I definitely think that this team is going to play with a lot of passion, and I think that this team is going to look to bounce back from that embarrassing loss on Sunday to the Dallas Cowboys. So I definitely think that our Atlanta Falcons have a chance at making the playoffs. If you look at our coaching staff, we have guys that have been with teams that have consistently made the playoffs the last couple of years. Arthur Smith coming over from the Tennessee Titans. Dean Pease, he's coached a lot of Super Bowl champion defenses, and he brings over that knowledge to our defense. So I definitely think if you look at the schedule of the games that we have left, a lot of the teams that are in the mix for that last NFC wild card position for that 7th seed or that 6th seed, we have a lot of those teams on our schedule the rest of the season. We have the 49ers coming up at the end of the year. We have teams like the Saints again on our schedule. We have the Carolina Panthers again on our schedule. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers again on our schedule. So we're going to have our chance to, prove that we deserve to be in the playoffs. But I definitely think that this team has a great chance at making the playoffs. Now, one big thing that I think the Falcons are going to have to do to make this playoff run and make this playoff push, we're going to have to do a better job of running the football on offense. I talked about this during the post-game show. Arthur Smith, he's going to have to get this running game going. If that means going to guys like Wayne Gallman, going to guys like Quadri Olison and Mike Davis, we really need Mike Davis to step his game up. He hasn't played well all season, but now with Cordero Patterson going down, he's definitely going to have to step up and be the guy that we paid in the offseason that we thought he was when he was with Carolina last season. He's really going to have to come in here and step up if this Falcons team want to make a serious playoff push. As I mentioned before, Arthur Smith, his offense is predicated off the run and creating play action. And if you're not running the ball well, the defenses are not going to, those linebackers and those safeties are not going to come down to help stop the run. And it's not going to create throwing lanes for Matt Ryan. It's the reason why Matt Ryan is having a lot of passes batted at the line. And it's because guys are not sinking down. these defensive linemen are just getting their hands up because they know that the Falcons are not running the football well. These linebackers and corners are sitting on a lot of these short routes that Arthur Smith is drawing up, and they're pressuring our wide receivers, not allowing those guys to get off the football. They're doing a lot of press man coverage and things of that nature, and they're running a lot of zones where they're sitting in the flats and they're not allowing Matt Ryan to get the ball out of his hands quick. So it's definitely going to come down to the Falcons being able to run the ball better. That, like I said, that's what Arthur Smith's bread and butter is running the football. When he was in Tennessee with Derrick Henry, that was the identity of the Tennessee Titans, and still is the identity of the Tennessee Titans, is physical football. So that's the style of football that Arthur Smith likes to play. So he's going to have to get back to his roots and get back to drawing up some exotic run plays to open up some holes for these running backs. Now, the next thing that we're going to have to do if we want to make this playoff push on the defensive side of the ball, we're going to have to get pressure on the quarterback, and we're going to have to do a better job at stopping the run. If our defensive line play improves, I really feel like it'll make the secondary's job a lot easier. Right now, I do think that there's a huge microscope on the secondary. Guys like Fabian Monroe, guys like Avery Williams, are kind of struggling. But I really think that it's all predicated on getting pressure. If you remember the last couple years when we had guys like Trufant, we had guys like Robert Alford. Last season, we had guys like Darquez Denard, and Rico Allen, Keanu Neal, and those guys in that secondary. Those guys were struggling because we didn't get pressure on the quarterback consistently. And that's something that Dean Pease has been honing in on. He's been talking about it every week in his press conference, that he doesn't mind bringing pressure. But when you don't get home, when you bring pressure, when you're blitzing guys from everywhere, blitzing guys from the secondary, blitzing linebackers and things of that nature, you open yourself up and you make yourself accessible to deep passes. And that's what we've seen on Sunday. We seen when we brought the pressure, Dak Prescott did a great job of reading the field and taking advantage of man-to-man coverage. And that's the reason why we've seen so many big plays given up to CeeDee Lamb and guys of that nature, because we were blitzing safeties and blitzing linebackers to try to get pressure because we weren't getting pressure with our front four. And when you do that, you open up your back end, as Dean Pease has been preaching. You set yourself up for man-to-man coverage. And if you get beat, you get beat. So you take the risk of, if you blitz, you better get home. And we haven't been doing a good job, or we didn't do a good job, at least in the last game against Dallas, of getting home and getting pressure on Dak Prescott. So we're going to have to definitely do a better job this Thursday against Mac Jones and getting pressure. If you do blitz, you better get home. And if not, you better pray that the back end holds up in man-to-man coverage. But personally, I think everything starts up front. You guys know that I'm big on the defensive line play. I feel like you don't need a great secondary. You don't have to have great corners. If you can get pressure and you can get home and you can make the quarterback move off his spot, you can make him get rid of the ball early and make him dump the ball down to a running back, or dump the ball to his hot read and not allow him to survey the field. I really think that the secondary's play will pick up if we can get pressure on the quarterback. But with that being said, this been your boy Jew. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please hit that subscribe button for your boy. I'm going to have a lot more content coming for you guys, but I appreciate each and every one of you guys continuing to tune in and share out my content. But as always, Falcons Nation, rise up. Peace.